players. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, I can't see that playing too much of a role in ZVT.
You have to keep in
Apart
mind it's
from the
all Magic.
temples, it is up like I'm hoping that we see some up magic craziness, but you can never tell these days. And even if we do, like Savior's like probably one of the strongest anti-cheese players. So that's why I gotta pick Savior. Anyway, let's move on to the next one here. I think we said mostly what we need to say. The next match we're going to talk about is Yellow versus Zero. Zero, yellow, fake yellow, by the way, just to make sure. YARNC, not the real yellow. Who's, I think, a pretty good ZV. Actually, no, I'm looking at his ZVZ stats. He's 29 and 32. Actually, Zero has better ZVZ stats than Yellow, which kind of surprises me. But I think the level of competition that Zero has played compared to the level of competition that Yellow has played is probably really not the same caliber. So I'm gonna have to give the nod to Yellow. Like I can't really say too much about ZVZ. I don't watch a lot of ZVZ, and I haven't watched either of these guys play a lot of ZVZ. But like apart from this MSL and in these MSL groups that we watch them, I think Yellow just looks like an overall better player, and I'm gonna have to give it to him. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so tough to say because it's a mirror matchup, so I don't think maps will play too much of an effect. And I mean, it is Zerg versus Zerg, so there's skill that goes into it, but it's also very luck based. And if a player opens up, especially on a big map like Carthage, where you don't see your opponent's space right away, I mean, we've seen games like that already. And I think the very first group with Savior, and it just seems like one player opens up with this, another player opens up with this, and it's just so spread out that it's kind of difficult to punish if, you realize that, oh crap, I'm at a disadvantage. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I just think that Yarnk is just, I guess, a slightly better player, and really lately he's been playing really good. Like before his stats were pretty bad, but I think lately he's kind of been improving. So yeah, I'm gonna probably say, Yarnak 2-0 or 2-1, but I can't really see Zero taking 2 games from him. But yeah, let's move on. We got Leda versus, or actually, I'm going to make a correction here. We pretty much massacred this in the very first video. Apparently, it's actually pronounced Leda and Flash. And it's a TBT game, and it's going to be awesome. Like, that's not something you get to say a lot.
No, even I'm excited. I don't play Terran. Even I'm super excited to see this, just because like these guys are the two respectively best TBT players out there right now. I mean, their stats, like, listen to this. The CVT stats for Leda, I guess. Leda, 23 and 8, 74% win ratio. The TBT stats for Flash, 47 and 21, 69% win ratio. And also bear in mind again, Flash, his ratio might not be quite as good as Leda's, but Flash is doing that against the best Terrans in the world. Those are his stats against players like 4GG and Firebad Hero and Nada and shit. So his TVT stats are against much better opponents. I mean, Flash right now probably has the best TVT in the world as it stands, right up there with him and 4GG and Leda. And like even I'm super excited about it. I can't really say anything about the maps. It is a mirror matchup. It's just really exciting for me to see how good Leda is gonna do. Like, this is the biggest test of Leda's career so far, and if he can take out Flash in the round of 16 of the MSL, I say he's probably gonna win the whole thing.
I agree. I say whoever wins this series is going to be a huge contender for, finals, at least for that side, if not winning it. And God, that's so hard to call. I'm just going to have to say Flash. I mean, I would say, hypothetically, I would say both of their Terran versus Terran is actually, so similar. It's so good. And Leda's actually, when he first started playing and becoming popular, he was one of the Terrans that I really, like to watch, and that I try to, use his style just because he used like a two-fact. He was a different player. He's always played kind of different, but effective, nonetheless. And a lot of people are saying that Leda's going to be the next top Terran. Well, I mean, a lot of people have said too that no, he isn't, and he needs to prove himself in best of threes, best of 5 against the best players. And wow, I mean, this is definitely a chance to prove it. And if Leda can prove that
really,
it's not just single strong games, then he can play a strong strategy in a strong series. I would definitely say that Leda has a chance to win the MSL.
Yeah. As far as an actual pick, I don't even know if I can make one. I guess I'm gonna have to say Flash, just because the experience. Like, Alita's kind of an unknown, but like I really don't want to say that I'm strongly leaning towards either one. I think I'm one of those people. I think Lita's going to become one of the next top Terrans. Just from the games that I've seen of him, he just has so much potential. Um, anyway, let's move on to the next matchup here. Hwasun versus Luxury. This is another matchup I'm really excited about. Hwasun and Luxury are both like respective masters in their matchup. As much as they might have been failing in other matchups over the course of their careers, might not have always been the best players, but Hwasun is a TVZ master and Luxury is a ZVT master. So, I mean, you can't really, like, this is just such a dream matchup. Like, Hwasun's TVZ stats, 68 and 39, 63.5%. And Luxury's ZVT stats, 36 and 29, 55%, which may not sound that impressive, but like he does have a really strong ZVT, and especially lately, he's just been tearing it up. Like his Mutalisk control is probably second only to Jaedong, maybe Savior or July, but I'd say he's right up there. Like he's just a really super excellent ZVT player. And I would actually, I don't know, like if things were normally, if this was a few months ago, I would have him easily picked over Hwasun. But Hwasun's just been playing so good lately. Like he's just been unstoppable. I mean, he basically dominated the group of death. Like he tore through it, like no problem. I think who did he beat in the first game? Was he Firebat Hero? Was it two TTs or was it?
He beat Jaedong.
Sorry. Yeah, he beat Jaedong. I can't believe I forgot about that. He beat Jaedong with an excellent display of unit control and time, like almost perfect micro. So I mean, the way he's been playing lately, I have to pick him. And also his games in the OSL, like he's been tearing it up on the OSL too. So I'm gonna have to give it to Jaedong. I'm sorry, I'm gonna give it to Hwasun. I'm gonna call for a 2-1. That's my pick.
God, this is, I mean, if you could end a series in 1.5, 1.5, like this would be it. Like Hwasun is just, he's like a solid player. He's been around for a while, and his TVZ is just phenomenal. Obviously one of the best in the world right now. And Luxury, he's a pretty good player. I mean, he's been around for a while, and his CVT is just phenomenal. Just one of the best in the world right now. So, I mean, you really, both of these players are just like carbon copies of each other, but in their, you know, own race. And Hwasun, I think, had a little bit tougher group, and I think that he's been playing a little bit better lately. And just to say, I mean, Hwasun right now is, I think, even with Jaedong, I think 5-5 in the last 10 games that they played. So I mean, if you can go on par with Jaedong, and being that it's been in, you know, series like MSL, I think they played in the OSL as well, and if you can play a series, I mean, both of these guys can just play a very strong series. Hwasun, you know, just an all-around great player. I mean, sometimes he kind of plays sloppy, but I don't think he's in the OSL right now, so he's going to be practicing purely for this matchup. And Luxury, I mean, he just showed so awesome play in the last, it was the previous MSL when he did this crazy Guardian Sunken build versus Flash, and that's probably a build I'm never going to forget. But I mean, both of these players, you know, so good, so experienced, so, you know, I have to pick Hwasun because I'm a Terran. I mean, that's pretty much the sum of that matchup. I just cannot fucking wait for that game.
Yeah, okay, but before we move on, I just want to add in one more interesting note here. I'm just looking at a page right now, and as far as what we were talking about Carthage being a ZVT map, even just our conjecture, Hwasun actually thumbed down Carthage for this matchup. So he did not thumb down Neo Harmony or Byzantium. Carthage is the map that he chose not to play. So it looks like Hwasun also thinks that it's probably going to be a Zerg favored map.
Yeah,
but he doesn't have to worry about it now because he got first out of his group, and
that was the benefit. I mean, pretty much if you beat Jaedong and then you beat Flash, I mean, you can pretty much just like make your own map in campaign editor and then play that 3 times. I mean, that's pretty much the level that he's established. So, you know, no problems with thumbing down that map at all.
Yeah. Okay, and let's move on to the next one here. We got Jangbi versus Frozine. This is a match that I'm excited about it in a way as a Protoss player because I get to see Jangbi just tearing the shit out of some hapless Terran. Like, just gonna sink his teeth into this guy and just crush him mercilessly. Like, it's just gonna remind me of my games versus D+ Terrans on ahkbar, so I'm gonna enjoy seeing that. But as far as it's gonna be competitive, like, no, there's just no way that Frozine's even putting up a fight. I mean, Jangbi basically crushed who did he crushed Iris in 4GG? He crushed Iris in Fantasy. Easily. Yeah. I mean, he totally dominated them.
No contest.
I would say both of those guys are better TVP players than Frozine. and he crushed them. I mean, he destroyed them.